Hey, how we doing, everybody?
Hey guys, welcome back.
Joe here.
Kevin?
Yeah, so we're in the middle of a pretty intense run in the West Wing.
Yeah, we're in the yep. This is part two of a two-parter,
Manchester Part Two. Yeah,
which is
um,
great because we are kicking off campaign season, which is kind of what we were looking forward
yeah.
to this season. Because
New characters.
as soon as President Bartlett said he was going to run for re-election, it's like okay, so now we have the big step of, as you know, anyone who's been alive for the last 7 years knows that re-election is everything.
Yeah, it's what I've been looking forward to the most in the show is seeing the campaign,
Right.
how the sausage is made. Let's see how you win a campaign. You know how you run a successful campaign.
Yeah, because we,
Um,
we didn't get that the first time through with them.
no, we didn't, and there's not a lot of shows where you do see that. And
Yeah.
also, like, not only does he have to go through the campaign and like how hard that's going to be, but
Mhm.
also he has to deal with the fallout from the MS situation.
Right.
Which I don't know if they're gonna kind of dial that back as the season goes on.
You have to. You can't keep. I
Yeah,
mean, it's not going to go away. But I feel like the campaign, by design, the campaigns are going to have to be more than that. We
right,
we we had CJ really blow it
sure.
in the last episode, which we're not used to. But I mean, I think you cut her some slack. She looked exhausted. She was exhausted. She's taking all the beating from the media. She's the one person that has to deal with it day in and day out in her face.
She could use a
Um,
raise.
she could use a raise and a day off,
Yeah,
to the point where it looks like she's considering resigning. I don't feel
yeah.
like
She
that
said
she
she
leaves the
was. Yeah.
show,
No, I don't.
but
I don't think she does. But she said she was.
but at the same time, it's like okay, I'm really curious of why she changes her mind.
Me too.
Who is it that talks her down? Does President Bartlett talk her down? Does she
If
does
it's
she get
not,
out of it on her own? Does Leo talk her down? Does Josh? I feel like there's a possibility that either Toby or Sam or both do because they're both in the same boat, right? Finding out very last second and getting and being very enraged by it.
yeah. I feel like it might be a little bit of everybody.
Sure.
I think everybody talks to her because like everybody loves everybody on the show.
Right.
They all have such respect and honest love for one
Right.
another.
Respect, absolutely, for sure.
But I can see them all talking to her and being like, "Hey, this is bigger than all of us,"
Right.
and you know, what would you rather be doing? This is the ultimate service, really.
No, it is. It's a service job, and it's not an easy service job.
Oh,
But I mean, I get it. Remember on our backstory in season one, CJ went from making $250,000 a year, doing PR for bad movie
yeah,
studios, to what was it, like $600 a week? They
yeah,
said to
huge pay drop.
massive. She's making no money, doing a much more
The thankless
difficult
job.
job.
Yeah,
She gets no sleep. She gets very little appreciation, at least spoken to her. Like, does anyone besides you and me,
yeah.
say good job to
Danny
CJ?
did. Danny was saying that, but
Yeah,
her and Danny, that's kind of
I haven't seen him for a
I
while.
know that's burnt bread, isn't it?
Yeah, like I mean, I'm not sure if this is like a Timothy Busfield's not with the show anymore,
Mhm.
but he's not there, in all of this press
Well,
for this.
they teased them like as a couple for the longest time in the first
Right,
season, to where you're like, okay, yeah, Danny and CJ, and then she was mad at him all of a sudden,
right.
and then he just kind of disappeared. It
Sure,
so it's kind of interesting how the show plays with story arcs.
absolutely.
But I am curious back to the MS thing to see how that resolves itself. I mean, I'm sure it's going to be a thing as the show goes on,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's going to take a backseat because this doesn't want to be the MS show.
Right.
So I wonder what's going to change and when that's going to change.
Sure. And I really hope Danny Kincannon is back on the show.
Me too. I like Danny.
Right. There's a million reasons or excuses I should say for you to have him off, but let's face it, man.
Maybe he's working. Maybe
Right.
he's a
This
working
isn't
actor.
this isn't a Moira Kelly Mandy situation
No,
where
it's
we
not.
got to get to the show. He was crushing it
He was
as
crushing it.
Danny on the show. It was always great to have him on the show.
He had
So
a lot of great moments.
so yeah, so I would love to see him back on the show for sure. We do want to welcome to Patreon subscribers, guys, for the weekend. So Kyra Gans, Henry Jambu, Touch the Garlic, Bethany Wilson, and Derek Bartnett. Thanks so much, guys, and welcome. We really, really thank you for being here.
We do. You guys are awesome.
Yes.
If you're watching us on YouTube for the first time, welcome to our channel.
Aye, aye.
If you don't mind, hit the like button for us. Leave us a comment down below, and please, please, please hit the subscribe button so you can stay up to date on the new content we've coming your way.
Yeah, and if you'd like to see a full-length reaction to this or every other episode of The West Wing and everything else we're watching, please check out a link in the description below to our Patreon page, where you will have to sync and watch along with us on a different viewing surface. screen, device, whatever. We of course are watching on Max, which is a really good way to go. So, and since they switched from HBO Max to Max, that's why recaps have disappeared.
Yeah.
Max doesn't have the recap. We're not skipping or anything. All right, I'm excited to get into part 2 of the Manchester tour.
We
great.
are, as
Yeah.
we have ever been, the hope of all mankind.
You're like working in a
But I
bar.
am not satisfied. Indeed, I am
They are.
restless.
And somebody sticks some pom-poms in that guy's hand?
But I am not satisfied.
These
Indeed,
two are
I am
not getting
restless, and I
along.
come before you not.
There's a snake over here.
What kind?
I don't know, and I
What
don't
kind?
want to ask him. Can somebody shoot it, please?
I'm sorry, but America wants a happy warrior to lead the country, not Dr. Kevorkian. I'm not wild about it being your campaign and your country.
No, that's okay.
Sir, you're perfectly entitled to declare yourself the leader of both the campaign and the country, since after all, you are.
It might not be such a bad idea for me to lock you all in here and set the place on fire.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Great intro.
Yeah, it was.
It's still as high stakes as ever.
It is, and I like the fact that they're nitpicking small details there.
Yep.
And Bruno comes in and says, "Stop it! We're gonna get along," and that's how it is.
Yeah. I mean, do you think it's important? I feel like you have to do some nitpicking. You know, I mean, because it does read.
Everything. You're right.
You know,
Every decision. Remember the first season when he takes his coat off at the one speech, and that's like people like they were debating about whether or not he should take how it look him taking his
Yeah.
jacket off. Yeah, you're right. Everything gets nitpicked for sure.
and it kind of shows like how stupid some of these things are. You know,
Yeah, for
because
sure.
they are stupid. But I mean, like in a political world, we read everything politically. You know,
Well, when you look at like did the president salute the Marine coming off the airplane or not? Like
Obama wanted- yeah,
we're all as a society, we're guilty of being stupid about this stuff.
it really is.
CJ got beaten up pretty good in the briefing room.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
bound to happen. Look, I'm sorry. I can't get into our thing tonight.
2 days ago, you said you had a lot to say.
A lot of tension here.
There is.
They got to resolve this pretty quick.
Yeah, they will.
America rocks, therefore Bartlett rocks. America rocks.
Bartlett rocks?
Yes. Leo.
The FDA is an independent agency. They can announce when they want.
The FDA is a division of HHS. They don't have to do it on Monday. I can fix tobacco.
Tobacco.
No, I meant 46.
I wonder what the point was him getting those two mixed up right there.
So, at any rate,
A photo op.
yes,
My husband and I together.
Yeah.
With the kid.
the press has sources that say that you and the president.
They have names. Don't ever come to me again with unnamed sources, CJ. You don't get any cider.
Wow.
I'm not wild about the fact that you told Toby what we discussed. And I think it's time.
When I think it's time, I will tell anyone who works for me anything I damn please.
I see why she wants to quit now.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, okay.
Do we want to set a precedent that anyone can stage a coup and walk away if it doesn't work?
And with $10 million and a private plane,
Only his wife, his children, and his parents can seek asylum. If he tries to go back, he'll be under arrest.
When this is a done deal, I want you to stick around for a while and brief the press.
She made a mistake, Leo. I don't feel right about this.
Well, she needs a
don't
break,
care.
so
Van Leo's being pretty.
he is. The last few episodes, he's been that way. Actually.
In the interview, he never apologized, and I think it's something we're going to get hung with later.
Well, let's wait a few weeks, see what happens with the numbers, and take another look.
Okay, it's very tense among a lot of characters here. At some point, something's got to give.
I'm bringing in Bruno Gianelli.
It's too early for Bruno.
No,
Toby, Sam, and Josh, the guys aren't going to like it.
they'll have to live with it.
You're going back to the strategy that failed for a month.
What's that?
All MS, all the
It
time.
was a little damage control needed to be done.
You just changed the subject.
Doug, why the hell didn't I think of that?
I don't know, Toby, but if you had, I probably wouldn't be here.
Ooh. Maybe they should just fist fight.
Right? Throw the papers down. Take 5.
Yes?
I have an appointment.
He's here.
Why didn't you send him in?
He didn't have an appointment.
I did it.
You did it yourself.
And I want unfettered access to the president.
No,
I need it.
can't have it.
I take this request to the president, tell him it's a deal breaker. He's going to say yes.
Knock yourself out.
I'll also need unfettered access to you.
No,
Sir,
I'm sorry, Bruno. Leo runs the show. Can you help us out?
yes, sir.
We'll be using this as the green room. He can walk right out the door and up on the stage.
This is the wonder again. Yeah,
Taking
one
care of
of them upstairs, down.
I'm taking care of it. If we put him up there like any other candidate, we trade away the one big advantage we've got.
What's that?
He's the president already?
He's got to stand up, he's got to declare, and he's got to apologize.
He's not going to apologize.
Why not?
For what?
For your campaign and your White House perpetrating a fraud.
You were the one who sent them the press release, right?
What press release?
Subcommittee about tobacco.
Yes, I was.
You don't want the money. You want the issue. Should have waited until the fall when the bell rings. And Kalmbach, Lita, Ross, O'Rourke, Stevens, whoever gets the nomination has it hanging around their necks, their nicotine pushers. Of course you got the money. I'm amazed you didn't send it to you with candy and a stripper. 3 swing states you could have brought over with that. That's an election.
Yeah. Wow. Josh is just realizing he blew that one. That's why he keeps talking about it.
Okay.
I didn't know you were going to be here.
I'm introducing you.
I thought Leland was down it.
Well, CJ thought it would be good.
Okay. I don't know enough about agriculture.
Well, I wouldn't worry about it. Agriculture isn't really your field. Why won't you talk to me?
Why aren't you with me?
How do you know I'm not?
You're not.
You go from I've got a lot to say to I can't say it right now because I've got so much to say to I gotta read about agriculture.
Is there any way I could change your mind? Because I really had my heart set on it.
Wow.
Oh.
Go to hell.
He needs to apologize.
Don't worry about it.
He lied. Bartlett lied to us.
President Bartlett, Sam, come on.
Connie, it seems to me your job is to wait until Doug leaves the room and then say what Doug really meant was.
We're making a mistake not including an apology.
That's probably true.
Is this what you mean, or is this what Doug means?
My point is that for 30 years, Democrats have been labeled tax and spend as if they don't believe in getting up every day and going to work.
You guys are so pissed at him, you don't even know it.
I think that's right. Yeah.
You're more pissed at him than the press is. I never drank the Kool-Aid, Toby. I came to win.
I feel like Josh has been second-guessing himself a lot now because he blew this thing.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
You're not ready
I
yet?
could have picked up the phone. I could have picked up the phone.
He's really reeling. Be honest with yourself. You blew the tobacco thing, and that's why you're
I blew the
worried.
tobacco thing.
Yeah,
There we
it
go.
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't be a marriage counselor. It pisses me off, okay?
I think if you get a bump in the polls after today's speech, as we expect you will, I think it'd be a good time for me to resign. Look, the press is...
That's nonsense to me, and I don't care.
Well, you might
For
not
all
care.
the new jobs we've created, there are single mothers working 2 of them.
Don't you dare lecture me, Mr. President. Don't you dare do it.
I was never supposed to win.
Here we go. This needed to happen.
I got in it polling in the single digits. Then you guys came along, and all of a sudden I got 22% in Iowa, and then it was a mistake benching you for that last press conference. You know that hardly any of the guys who landed on the moon are married to the same people they were married to before they went there. Just saying, it could be worse. I could have been an astronaut.
That's great.
You're afraid of heights, speed, fire, and small places.
I'd have overcome it to go to the moon. I'm really happy you're introducing me. I'm really happy about that.
This is really great.
I haven't really made up my mind yet. But at the moment, I'm leaning towards voting for you.
If they don't know what the word means...
What's the word?
Torpor.
It means apathy.
I'm saying if people don't know what the word means...
They can look it up. You're going to be the education president. It'd be nice not to hide that you have an education.
Yeah.
It occurs to me, I never said I'm sorry. There's a new book, and we're going to write it. You can win.
Link in the
Run a
background there, yeah.
smart, disciplined campaign. We're going to write a new book, right here, right now, this very moment today. You know what? Break's over.
We didn't get a break.
Right? Yeah, but they all needed that, you know?
They did. That felt cathartic.
Everyone can give everyone a break now. Including themselves, you know?
Yeah, truly, you know? You realized you screwed up?
Right. Poor Josh, yeah.
Yeah.
And poor CJ.
Oh, man, she's been
through
the
it,
ringer,
yeah.
man. That's
Great
really good.
final shot, too,
Amazing
isn't it?
final shot.
God. I love, you don't ever see that, right? They set up the big, the thing we've been building for 2 episodes, and they don't actually... Not
Show
only
the
don't show the
crowd.
speech, we don't see the face of the speaker. We just get a back shot going out to do the speech.
It's really good because they're on the inside looking out, right?
Absolutely,
You know,
right. You're with the administration. You're not with the crowd. So we're not there to watch the speech as an audience.
No,
Yeah,
and it's a really smart use of well budget, you know, but
And
also just creatively. It's visually interesting.
yeah, good visual storytelling.
Yeah. A lot of it this episode.
I feel like a lot of stories in movies, like you've seen bad television movies, right? Where they do a flashback, right? And it gets to the point where like something like whoa, what's going on? And then you get like the 2 weeks earlier or 24 hours earlier.
Yeah.
So and then it leads up, and you're supposed to be like misled by the first framing device. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
The fake out flashback.
Yeah.
So I feel like time jumps get used very poorly as a band-aid for bad storytelling.
Yeah.
But I think if you do it well, it can add so much where you want the focus to be, right? Because linear storytelling is not always the right way to tell a story.
No.
Pulp Fiction, right? We have Sam Jackson. His catharsis comes at the end of the movie, right? But
it kicks off the film essentially.
Right.
Yeah.
But his realization that he wants to be a better person, we see at the end of the movie, but chronologically it's like more in the middle of the movie.
Yeah.
But by changing the structure of the story, you get the big moment of growth where you want it. Even if it's the middle of the timeline.
Yes.
This used the timeline moves so well for us to see where the characters are at and to get us where we want them to be. Right? This is a textbook case of if you're going to use multiple timelines to tell a story, to kind of lay everything out for an audience, this is the way to do it right
I
here.
agree 100%. I mean, that very well said. No, like exposition is very tired, and TV is
For sure.
TV is full of exposition. This show has some of it, but I mean, you need it in a political
Right.
show like this so you can understand what's actually happening. This used the exposition more in a visual way. It uses the nonlinear story to really show you all the moving parts. So
Well, when you can drop in the exposition as like a cause and effect kind of thing by using the time jumps, the show does a really good job. Right?
Yeah.
We do a great job because this is a show that kind of, among other things, is educational.
I would say so. Yeah.
In that a lot of people who watch this show, like, remember the phrase POTUS was not popularized until people learned it on this show, right? It's a show that's like,
popular.
here is how presidential administration not only works, but an ideal one should work. Like a good one should function. And when you're gonna have the task of like making people see like here's how the wheels turn and everything. Sorkin has done such a good job for 2+ seasons now of like varying how he lays out information in a way that keeps it interesting, that keeps it gripping, and it makes for good storytelling while also being very heavy on exposition without being overly pedantic. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Like, there's a universe where the show is incredibly boring.
There is. In the hands of a lesser writer and a lesser visionary team.
Yeah, Brett Ratner's The West Wing.
Yeah, exactly. Right. C-SPAN puts together a West Wing show. Yeah.
But no, Sorkin. They don't waste any time.
No.
They don't waste any characters. They don't waste any minute of the show making it truly captivating. Once the show starts, you're in it.
Right.
Tension's there, and you're fully aware of what's happening.
Well, I keep thinking back to my favorite cold open of the show, and it's Toby with the ball on 17 People.
Oh yeah, that was
where
great.
he's figuring it out, right? And you not only see it, but you hear the ball thumping, and as when he's shots where he's talking to Leo or doing something else while he's still thinking about that for that week. When the wheels are turning on this issue, you still hear the ball thumping. This is just I go back to that as just like a small example of Sorkin really knows how to build tension in a story where he knows how to show without telling.
Exactly.
And this type of structure of the show does that. We get a lot of that, which is why this is one of the best television dramas ever made.
Yeah, and it kind of feels like they wrapped up the end of season 2 in this episode. So going forward, I mean, the campaign's going to, I'm assuming, be the entire season, right? I doubt we'll see the re-election until...
That might be the finale.
It could be.
You know what I mean?
It could be.
The re-election could be the finale for I don't know that it will be, but it could be. Like season 3 could end with the re-election and Bartlett winning, and we start, seasons 5
into
6,
other issues, basically.
4, 5, 6, 7 for 4 years. After that.
I mean, I feel like if you have something as interesting as a campaign, I feel like you're going to want to stretch it. So
sure.
But then again, we have 22, 23 episodes a season,
right.
So you can only go so far with it.
Yeah, of course. That makes me think, it's like, well, we'll do probably 4 more years, right? We go through seven years. We started in year 2.
Yeah.
That makes sense that one season kind of covers a year of the show. So probably have the re-election, then 4, which means, and I want no spoilers from anybody, I wonder if season 7, we get a lame duck president and an election between 2 other people, one of them who won't be Bartlett.
Do you think that it's gonna end in like a sad kind of way then?
Could, but I feel like the show ends with Bartlett's term being over and somebody else being president. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and again, it may be someone we know. It could be like Hoynes. It could be a sad ending to where like the incumbent party loses. You know what I mean?
Everything we did was
right,
this,
right. In a villain, quote unquote villain for the show. Ends up winning, which wouldn't be the most unrealistic thing in the world.
The show ended in 2006,
I would say, so probably around 6. Yeah,
so Bush was in office.
Yeah,
Obama was coming.
Obama was coming. Bush was in office, and I'm not like trying to make a strong commentary about Bush, but I do know Aaron Sorkin didn't like him.
I mean, it's safe to say,
right?
He wasn't a great guy,
right?
Yeah, it's a hot take to say that.
It's not. We all remember the debacle that was the Iraq War, and gay people should definitely be constitutionally prohibited from loving each other and stuff like that.
Now, the child in me kind of wants the show to jump the shark. Season 6, we have the terrorist hijack Air Force One episode.
You're right.
And we have Bartlett being Harrison Ford.
Get off my plane.
It'd be amazing, But that sadly, this is not that show.
Nope. But I am really looking forward to, because the nice thing about having I don't know to the extent it's going to be, but a re-election season, quote unquote, is we get to see something completely new.
Yeah,
that we haven't seen in the first 2 seasons, for sure.
That's what I want to see. I want to see stuff that we have not seen already. The last season I felt was a great step forward.
Huge.
It was different enough from the first season.
Oh, it was a titan. Yeah,
exactly. So I want this season to do the same thing, up the scale.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because we've got a whole lot of new area we can kind of mine through.
Tons.
All right, we'll catch you next one, guys.
See you guys.